Good morning, everyone. It's Cohn Phone Saturday. The way I'm structuring it this week is I'm going to do a Cohn Phone today for an hour, and I'm going to do a Cohn Phone tomorrow, same time for an hour, just to split it up. Some people are free Sunday. Some people are free Saturday. So I'm going to start taking questions at 10. If you've noticed, I haven't dropped the link yet. I want you guys to focus. For the next 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm going to give my spiel on 4 topics. And if you guys want to react to what I'm saying, you're welcome to. Give us some topics to discuss. Or if you guys got your own things you want to talk about, great. I'm going to drop the link at 10. First, I want to talk about the 49ers cap space. This is news. It was looking like the Niners were going to have $13 million in cap space. Now, because of some clerical stuff, some veterans who didn't hit their incentives, Richard Sherman, I believe. Now they have $23 million in cap space. That's a big jump. That's $10 million. That's like cutting D Ford. Well, not quite, but it's important. So where does that leave the 49ers in terms of the offseason? Well, they're among the teams with the most cap space. There are quite a few teams in much worse position. A lot of teams that have no cap space that are over the cap significantly and have to just hack away at their roster. That's not the Niners. So that's good. On the other hand, 10 million of that goes to the rookie class, about your draft picks. So you're really talking more like 13, 15 million. And that's good, but it's not enough, again, to extend Fred Warner, extend Trent Williams, extend Jason Verrett, all these guys. It's just not. Those are expensive players. So the 49ers still have to make tough decisions. If the Niners can find a way to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, Jason Verrett, Trent Williams, all 3, I'll be freaking shocked. I know Niner fans always have unwavering, unflappable support of Parag Marath. He'll figure it out. I don't think so. I think the Niners are going to have to let a few guys go, and they'll say, well, that was the plan all along. We never really intended to keep Trent Williams more than 1 year. We only gave up a 3rd-round pick for him. We were okay letting him go. He was here for a Super Bowl run for the revenge tour. It didn't work out. We really like Daniel Brunskill. We actually love Colton McKivitz. We think he's fantastic. You should have seen him this one day in practice in November. That's what they're going to say. So 23 million in cap space, that's terrific. Is it going to change things? Maybe it'll mean that they can keep Kyle Juszczyk. Maybe it means that they'll get one more free agent that wasn't on their team that they couldn't before. But is it going to mean that they can keep the 3 big hitters? Is my connection not so good? Because I can go over to my hotspot real quick if it's necessary. Let me know. Let me know, though. How is my connection? Is it all right? I'm good? Okay. So that's the thing with the cap space. It's nice. It's good news. But I think if we're being honest here, it's not going to change everything. I still think they should probably let Trent Williams walk and spend that cap space on multiple players, not just one. Because we've seen from the Niners, from the Texans, having one great left tackle doesn't necessarily mean you have a great offensive line. So that's the first thing. Let's move on. The Niners re-signed Ross Dwelley and Marcel Harris, who's a good player in his own right. They had him at strong safety the first couple of years of his career, moved him to linebacker. I think he's better at linebacker. Because the way the Niners play their safeties, you got to be able to play strong and free. That's what Tart does. Tart plays a lot of free safety because Jimmy Ward plays so much nickel. I mean, he's in coverage so much on tight ends and slot wide receivers that Jaquiski Tart really is in center field for 3rd downs and obvious passing situations. So that's what Marcel Harris would have to do if you were taking Jaquiski Tart's spot. And he's just not that good at it. He's a linebacker. But so I don't really want to talk about Marcel Harris. The Niners re-signed Ross freaking Dwelley. This is huge. This is the biggest news. I was down on the Niners offseason. I was like, they haven't really done much. They promoted Adam Peters. They extended River Craycraft. Big freaking whoop, right? Look at the Rams. They have Matthew Stafford. Look at the Cardinals. They have J.J. Watt. Well, now the Niners just went all in. They just say, I see your J.J. Watt, and I raise you a Ross Dwelley. You guys think I'm joking about Ross Dwelley. I've frequently pumped up these backup undrafted guys, and I've had varying success. Ross Dwelley is a major, it is the number 1 accomplishment on my resume. Discovered Ross Dwelley. That is the truth. That guy is a great football player. George Kittle knows deep down that Ross Dwelley is 8 times 9 times the quarterback, the football player that he is. Ross Dwelley is just amazing. Let me tell you some Ross Dwelley facts because people don't know what a big deal it is that the Niners have Ross Dwelley again. Okay, so first of all, he just turned 26, young, okay? Been in the league 3 years. Guess how many passes he's dropped in his career? Can anyone guess? Anyone guess how many passes Ross Dwelley has dropped in his career? Ross Dwelley facts. Anyone know? 0. Never dropped a pass in his freaking career. And he hasn't had a ton of targets. He's had 48. Never dropped a pass. That's decent. And here's the thing about him. Last year, 24 targets, 19 catches, 123.1 quarterback rating when targeted. That's pretty good. He's had 3 touchdowns in his career. He really doesn't get the targets he should. If Kyle Juszczyk leaves this offseason, I could see Ross Dwelley getting, instead of 25 targets a season, 45, 50. He deserves it. I've been telling you about Ross Dwelley for years. Ever since I saw him in training camp. You can see it in the one-on-one drills when he goes up against guys like Jaquiski Tartt, Jimmy Ward, starting safeties in the league. Dwelley was beating them years ago. Why? He's just a good receiver. He's not fast, but he's really tall. And he has finesse and deception in his route running. He just has the head fakes, the shoulder fakes. He can cut outside of his frame. He gets open. Gets open enough. He gets to the top of his route. He's got a little bit of shake and boom, makes a break, open. And then he has these long arms and fantastic hand-eye coordination. The thing about Ross Dwelley that kills me is that in college, he was a way better college tight end than George Kittle. George Kittle was a blocking tight end in college. George Kittle caught like 40 passes in college. Ross Dwelley was the number 1 receiver at San Diego. Their passing attack went through him. So he's used to double coverage, bracketed coverages, making contested catches, all that stuff. He's used to an offense working through him. It's weird for him to be someone who gets 1 target a game, if that, a target and a half. So he's actually a natural receiver. That's why he gets open. That's why he catches the ball so cleanly. He has upside. If the Niners had signed Tom Brady last year, I firmly believe he would have loved Ross Dwelley the way he loves Cameron Brate in Tampa. He throws to Gronkowski a ton, also throws to Cameron Brate. They're very similar players. If Brady had come to the Niners, Dwelley would have had his breakout last year. Depending on who the Niners quarterback is moving forward, hopefully it's not Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't appreciate Ross Dwelley. Jimmy doesn't appreciate Ross like we do. So see you, Jimmy. It's time for someone else to get Ross the ball. Ross the boss. Who knows? Maybe Kellen Mond is going to love Ross. In fact, I think he will. So this is a big move for the Niners. This guy seriously has a lot of upside, never dropped a pass, always open. The kind of guy, you know what he could do? He could replace Kendrick Bourne's role in a lot of ways. Kendrick Bourne was that third receiver on third down in the red zone who wasn't going to run deep, but maybe he'd catch a 15-yard pass over the middle. Maybe he'd catch a pass in the end zone. He was the contested catch guy. Well, now it's Ross Dwelley. If Bourne doesn't come back, now it's Ross Dwelley. Now Dwelley, the people who get targets in the end zone should be Dwelley and Ayuk. You notice the Niners almost never target George Kittle in the end zone. They almost never target Deebo Samuel in the end zone. There's a reason for that. Those guys are better with the ball in their hands. They're better after the catch than they are before it. Kittle's not a great contested catch guy. Neither's Deebo. Dwelley is. So this is serious. It's a nice move. I'm glad they brought him back. Now they just got to get him the ball. Get him the ball. Stop playing Trent Taylor. If they re-signed him, I would have been. But they didn't. Okay. According to Greg Bedard, in New England, he's saying the Patriots' plan A is still Jimmy Garoppolo. They want Jimmy. They're waiting for Jimmy. I think this makes a ton of sense. They're not linked to anyone. They're not linked to Deshaun Watson. None of the quarterbacks in the draft. I mean, I'm sure they like all of them. But there's no one in particular, no rumors, not Cam anymore, not Alex Smith. What are they doing? Well, And why are the Niners holding on to Jimmy still? It's like, I think it's pretty obvious. The Patriots want Jimmy. The Niners know it. The Patriots would rather not give up much, and the Niners are waiting to get more. So it seemed like Sunil, who's been on this show before, broke this down. It's got to be Jimmy for the Patriots. Bill Belichick doesn't have time to develop another quarterback. He developed Jimmy. That's his guy. Bring him back, especially since the Niners don't want him. It's just haggling, and it's going to take a while. But I believe he probably will go back to the Patriots. It seems to me that it just makes too much sense. The Patriots want him. Who else wants him as much as Bill Belichick? So how is this going to play out? Well, it seems to me, even though the Niners would save cap space by cutting Jimmy now, they don't want to cut Jimmy before they have the replacement. Like, I don't think they want to cut Jimmy or trade Jimmy before the draft. I don't think they want to be sitting at 12 in the draft with no starting quarterback and the whole league knowing they got to make a move up to get one. I think they'd rather be slick and be like, oh, we don't really want a quarterback. We're cool. We don't know. And then boom, they trade up for a quarterback. Or boom, they take some guy at 12 or they make a move that people aren't really expecting because they've been lying about Jimmy Garoppolo all offseason. And then now that they've secured the replacement without getting gouged because everyone knew they were in the market for a quarterback, then they trade Jimmy Garoppolo to the Patriots. Also, the Patriots picked just a couple of picks after the Niners. So the Niners, if they were to pick in round one, could ensure that the Patriots don't get whatever quarterback they might like in round one that will be available there. If it's like, say it's Kellen Mond, Mac Jones, something like that. And then, boom, the Patriots are even more desperate for a quarterback. So I think this is going to drag out at least until the draft. If the Patriots want him, the Niners have to basically draft their replacement or trade for their replacement, whoever that is. Maybe Sam Darnold. Ooh, isn't that exciting? But let's say it's Kellen Mond, and the Niners plan on taking Kellen Mond with the 12th pick or Kyle Trask with the 43rd pick. They have to do that first before they get Garoppolo because the draft is unpredictable. You never really know how it's going to break. Maybe, 8 out of 10 times it breaks the way they want it to and they get the quarterback they expect to get. But maybe this draft is just unpredictable and the guy they think is going to be there isn't. And now you traded Jimmy Garoppolo and you're screwed. So I think, sure, Patriots want Jimmy, fine. You got to wait. Niners are going to get their replacement first. And if you guys disagree, have a different viewpoint, bring it to the Cohn phone. But that's how I see it. Draft at the earliest. And then finally, Mike Lombardi, who's worked for the Raiders, he's worked for the Patriots, he's been an insider, worked for the Athletic, Bay Area dude, grew up playing baseball with his sons in North Oakland Little League. I think his kids went to like Corpus Christi in Oakland. They're Oakland OGs. Anyway, shout out Mike Lombardi and his kids. He says the Niners are interested in Sam Darnold. They see him as more physically gifted than Jimmy Garoppolo. And basically, if Jimmy can go to the Super Bowl, then Sam Darnold definitely can go, probably win it if he's on this team with Kyle Shanahan. I'm not here to say that Mike Lombardi is not connected, that he's lying, that he's misrepresenting. I'm sure he heard it. If he said he heard it, he heard it. For sure. But he's wrong. Whoever told him this is leading him astray or just wrong himself. Because I don't know. I don't know if he's wrong. Maybe he really does. Maybe Shanahan really does like Kyle Shanahan, does like Sam Darnold. All I know is I know how Shanahan feels about Jimmy Garoppolo. They liked his physical gifts. They liked the way he threw the ball. They liked his athleticism, at least before the ACL injury. They liked him in New England, how he moved, how he threw, kind of like Darnold. When they got him in the building, they were like, wow, this guy is not as smart as we assumed he'd be. Belichick said he liked him, studied under Brady for 3 years. Oh, he doesn't have the football IQ we expected, period. That's how they feel about Jimmy. You watch him on the field, he freezes in the pocket. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't get from A to B to C in his progressions quickly or seamlessly. He's lost after the first progression. Kyle has to make things very defined and simple for him, and he still turns the ball over too much. Well, that's Sam Darnold times 10. Sam Darnold makes Jimmy Garoppolo look like Alex Smith. I mean, Sam Darnold is the worst executing starting quarterback in the league. He's lost. And I don't watch a ton of Jets coaches film. Why would I? But Jack Hammer and I, shout out Jack Hammer, subscribe to his YouTube channel, broke him down along with Jimmy against the same team from 2019. This was when Darnold actually won like 7 games, 7-6 or something. He played the Steelers. Garoppolo played the Steelers. Neither quarterback played well, but what you notice about Darnold is he has no freaking clue where to go with the ball ever. Like people say, oh man, well, he played for Adam Gase. Look, maybe Adam Gase isn't that great of a coach, but you watch the Jets, there are receivers open every play. And Darnold is just like, I don't know, no clue. It's like he's playing with a blindfold on. And so why does he hold the ball so long and try to create off script? Because he can't execute the play. And Shanahan hates quarterbacks like that because his plays are his babies. If you can't execute them and you just abort every single play that's working just so you can scramble around and make something new, he's going to hate you. I'm sorry. If maybe Kyle thinks he likes Sam Darnold, but once he flips on the tape and sees what Darnold's doing, he's going to be like, no. It's the same thing as Jimmy Garoppolo. No football IQ, no sense of where to go with the ball. Terrible going through progressions. Much more of an athlete than a quarterback. Not particularly athletic anyway. And they get injured. I mean, Sam Darnold, he has the weirdest injuries. He missed games because of mono and strep and an enlarged spleen, like a toenail issue. No. And then he's in year 4. So if he comes here and then plays well, because, sometimes quarterbacks do play well for a few games under Kyle Shanahan, like Jimmy did. Now you're in a position where now you got to give him a new contract because of half a season's worth of work. Give him a new contract and $100 million? No. Sam Darnold is a downgrade from Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, he's cheaper, but he's a downgrade. I mean, just take Trey Lance if you want to take Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's about that raw. Sam Darnold stinks. He's not a quarterback. He's an athlete who's not that athletic by NFL standards. He's a chicken with his head cut off on the field. I mean, easy reads he misses. Easy freaking reads. Like, for example, slant flat. You see the Niners run this all the time. The outside receiver runs a slant, like the fullback or the tight end or the inside receiver. Whoever's in there runs a flat route. Boom. And it's against the zone coverage. There's like a flat defender right there. If he goes to the flat and takes the running back, then you throw the slant. He never gets it right. The slant was open like 5 times against the Steelers, and he never threw it. Also, if you show a blitz against Sam Darnold, you just bring any blitz, the 5th guy. He panics immediately, checks it down. It's not like, let's see if they pick it up or let's see if the blitz is successful. No, blitz, I'm checking down. He can't beat a blitz to save his life. He's a lot like Justin Fields. The guy is just not refined as a quarterback. He's going to drive Kyle crazy. That is not Kyle's kind of quarterback. I just don't. Mike, they lied to you. They lied. I'm sorry. All right, let's take some questions. What I'm going to do is throw the comment, the link there. Boom, the link is there, and I'm going to put it in the description. Boom. All right, I will take some calls when ready. Give you guys a little time to gather your thoughts. Sam Darnold. I guarantee you Kyle Shanahan watches the tape and is just like, ugh. All right, I'm going to hit Ben first and then Waruna because I got to ask Ben a question. What's up, Ben?
Hey, what's up, Grant?
Hear what you want to. You dropped some stuff the other night when I was after dark, and we weren't prepared. So recap what you were saying and then explain it.
Yeah. I'll recap that in a second. I wanted to come on here. Originally a few days ago, I was thinking, I'd come on here bragging about the team I get to cover because I get to cover a top 15 college basketball team. But they're having an absolute meltdown on national television right now. So that's just awesome. Okay.
That's fun to cover.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it'll be fun today. Today will be fun.
Okay.
But just to get into Niners stuff, before I get into what I had for you on Thursday, because I threw a lot at you, I want to ask you a kind of like a silly question first, man, which is, do you think the 49ers are going to be this year's Hard Knocks team?
No, I don't think they want it. I think, a good question. They used to do their own version called Brick by Brick. Which was the vanilla.
I'll put it on YouTube
and they did it themselves. No, the Niners really want to control the narrative. I don't think they would want. No, knowing them, no.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense to me, but I just,
Yeah.
I know they'll be eligible. They'll be one of the teams that they're going to be looking at. So.
Right. They'll do whatever is possible to get out of that. But it may not be their choice. Sometimes you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Well, and, I just out of all the teams who have lost recently, they seem like the most marketable. I just thought it made a lot of sense, especially
people would watch it.
From the NFL's perspective. Oh, yeah. But before I get into what I brought up with you on Thursday, so what I brought up with you was a GM scenario, which was my ideal offseason scenario, and I ran you through that. How about this? I want to run you through a more realistic version of that first, and then we can get to what I was talking about. So in every offseason scenario that I'm going to be throwing at you, or that I would want the Niners to do, first things first, they need to trade Jimmy. That's number one. Financially, it makes just way too much sense. You've talked about this over and over. Everybody knows if you watch Grant's channel, Jimmy just shouldn't be on this team anymore. It's pretty simple. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then they need to cut Weston Richburg. Yeah. It's just not going to work. He's been too injured. He had the hip thing, and he's still out indefinitely. It's just he hasn't worked out, and financially it just doesn't make sense. And they've already cut. And I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name correctly. It's
Nzaucha.
Yeah, Nzaucha. That's who
he's German, so I'm just guessing it's something like that. But I think it's Nzaucha.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. But so they announced, I think the other day, that they're not going to be re-signing him, which is what I had in my plans too. And with the new created salary cap space, this helps out my plans a lot. So first off, in this more vanilla offseason, I'm going to re-sign Trent because I think, I'm not against that necessarily. In my other plan, I don't. But I think you spent the draft capital on Trent, and if you're getting him for anywhere between 22 to 23, 24, I don't think that's insane, because I think, quite frankly, other tackles are going to start getting that money in 2
and
3
Jimmy's
years.
Off the team, right?
Yeah, Jimmy's off the team.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
So then I'll re-sign Jason Verrett for around $9 million per year, and that leaves me about with 13-14 million, and I'll spend the rest of that money on Alex Mack, Emmanuel Sanders, Xavier Rhodes, Justin Houston. And that'll be my free agency.
Say it again. Who are the wide receiver? I mean, who are the signings?
It's Alex Mack, Emmanuel Sanders, Xavier Rhodes, and Justin Houston.
It's very interesting. The one thing I noticed, and I hate to be negative. I'm not trying to be negative.
No.
It's really cool. It's a very good. The one thing that comes to mind is every player you just listed, I think, is in his 30s.
Yeah.
His team is getting old. Yeah. So that's fine, but at the same time, like with the injured players, like you want to take some risks on injured players, but at a certain point, you don't want to take too many. So that would be my only question to you. Like,
I think
I like Xavier Rhodes. I mean, it's like, I like Alex Mack, but
I get where you're going. But I think I guess I should.
Sanders too. Sanders is a good idea.
Oh, Sanders is an awesome idea, because I think, and I just want to mention this real quick with Sanders, it's like buying a stock at half the price you wanted to buy him for. Like they wanted him for what, 9-10 mil per last year, maybe, and they're going to get him for 5 this offseason. So it just makes way too much sense.
The thing is, though, I feel like Sanders is more for Jimmy. It's more. It's like if you're bringing in a rookie quarterback, then you can kind of let the rookie quarterback grow with the youngsters. But Jimmy just had such an instant connection with Emmanuel Sanders. I really think if you go back and chart his splits pre and post trade, it's drastic.
It's ridiculously drastic.
Ridiculous. Yeah, and he's a good player.
Well, and like I talked to you before, I think last week it was, the leadership he would bring to the locker room and all that kind of stuff, that would just be invaluable. And especially I think if they're trying to win now, that he could really help out in that department. And then let me just run you through my draft scenario. And also, with all those players being older, I think what I was trying to say earlier was that this isn't the plan I would do. This is just the plan I could see the Niners doing.
I wasn't shooting it down. I was just raising some questions, but I like it. It's good so far. I like Rhodes. I like Mack. I like Sanders. And who's the other one?
Justin Houston. So
it's a great
another
idea.
Old guy. Yeah.
But that's a great. But I mean, those I kind of like the early 30s, mid 30s pass rusher. Those guys often have a little juice left if you just play them in a reduced role, bring them off the bench.
And Justin Houston would be perfectly. They need a speed guy, so I mean, hey.
I'd be better than Elvis Doomerville a few years ago.
Oh my God, yeah. So then let's go to the draft, and that's where I'll finish up for this scenario. I want to take a corner in round 1.
Okay.
I think you and Chris Sims are driving Kellen Mond out of the second round and
so
up
too.
further in the draft. So I'm going to go with Kyle Trask in the second round, even though I'm a Florida State fan.
I like that.
You know, you got to go with a good player. And then I'll go wide receiver or O-line round 3.
Sounds good. Depends who's available. Yep. I really, well, the thing is, they probably could have Brunskill and McGlinchey compete at right tackle. But if they want to do that, then they got to really beef up the interior, because you can't have Brunskill playing 8 positions at once, which is, I think, their dream. There's 8 Brunskills.
Oh my God, yeah, and they need depth in that third. Like yes. Especially if you grab an interior guy at the end of that third round, it's not like you don't even have to play that guy. It's just a strictly depth thing, I think, at this point. Even if you like the Niners' offensive line, you have to admit the depth that they're lacking right now is one of the biggest issues. But then, you know what? Let's just get into my fun offseason scenario, because I threw this at you Thursday. This is what I would want to do if I were the 49ers GM. Let's start with what I was saying before. You're cutting Richburg, trading Jimmy and Zicha. They are off the books. You have $51 million. And this is, I changed this already from the reporting that the Niners are now going to have like 23 million cap space. So that actually helps me out in this scenario. And I'll start by re-signing Verrett. I'm going to let Trent Williams walk in this scenario, but in this free agency, and just keep a small note of this, I see him signing with the Bengals.
Okay.
Then next, I want the Niners to go after David Andrews to solidify their center position. I think he's a Florida State guy. Yeah.
There you go.
Then again, I think the edge in pass rusher is something that the Niners they need to evaluate more. And I would add Yannick Ngakoue, because he's young. He's 26 years old. I think for the money you could get him for relative to some of the other guys in free agency, it's going to be pretty good. So I really like that. And then I would go after Ronald Darby, another FSU guy. He's a good enough corner. And if you have him and Verrett between those two, if you go in the draft too, or you sign other vets off minimums, I feel like that's a great way to fill out your depth in the secondary. Then I'm going to re-sign Juice, because I got some extra money. And I just like keeping Juice around. I know I think there was some rumor that they're going to potentially franchise tag him. I wouldn't mind that, especially with the extra money. Then I'm going to re-sign Emmanuel Sanders again. Okay. That is my free agency scenario. Then let's talk about the draft, because this is where I get maybe a little Madden-like, but let's have some fun. So I said I want the Bengals to sign Trent Williams, and that's because I want to trade up for Penei Sewell. And I don't want anyone in front of me to be that obvious team to trade up for him. Now, do I think if the Bengals aren't taking him at 5, will he fall that far? No. But I think if you're looking at like pick 7, pick 9 in the draft, if you look at all those teams that are after the Bengals, they're not necessarily going to be taking an offensive lineman. And quite frankly, I think they'd rather trade down than take an offensive lineman. You look at the Eagles, the Lions. I mean, the Panthers would be the only team I think who would maybe consider it, but they're after a quarterback right now, so that wouldn't even really make sense for them. So I'm either trading up to pick 7 or pick 9 for Penei Sewell. Or if I have to, I'll trade up to pick 5. I'll trade our second round pick this year. I'll trade our first round pick this year. And let's say a future day 3 pick, because I think Penei Sewell is that worth it. The guy's a walking jacket. He's a future Hall of Famer in my mind. Then I'll finish up the draft with taking a corner in round 3, an interior defensive lineman in round 4 or 5. And then this is where I want to get really interesting. I know you're all about, if you want to trade for Deshaun Watson, you want to trade Nick Bosa for him. I'm open to that idea, but I think for this scenario, if the Niners are trying to win now, which this scenario would be very much trying to win now, I would trade 3 or 4 first-round picks along with day 2 picks and day 3 picks for Deshaun Watson, because I think he's that much worth it. And I think if you build the right team around him and you go to the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game in 2 out of 5 years, it's really worth it to me, because by the end of those 4 or 5 years, you'll have all your draft picks back. You'll have all your draft capital back. And then I'm also going to finish that off by trading Eric Armstead for a 3rd or 4th round pick, just because I need the extra salary cap space. And like I've talked to you before about Armstead, he just makes too much sense to deal post June 1. The money, not this year, it won't be super impactful, but let's say you're looking down the line next year and you want to be able to keep Fred Warner at $20 million per year. You know who's getting paid $20 million per year? Eric Armstead. So if you get rid of him now, down the road, I think that's where it really helps you out. It lets you keep guys. So what do you think? Where do you think I maybe went unrealistic? And hey, I'm open to tweaks. So let's talk this out.
Ben, I got to get to the next caller. I only got 50 minutes left, but what I want to say is it was very ambitious. It's terrific. I'm going to think about it, and I'll get back to you tomorrow on it. But I only got 50 minutes left. I got to get through a bunch of people. So thank you for laying it out for us.
I got to go get back to a game anyway.
All right, man. Enjoy it.
I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Have a good one, man. Hey, how are you?
Hi. How are you? I'm doing fine.
I'm doing fine, man. What's going on?
Hi. It's good. Saturday, as usual.
All right. Yeah, I absolutely can't complain. It's 10:09. We're talking. It's 10:12. I don't understand. The reason I'm late all the time is because my computer clock is 4 minutes late, and it's supposed to set itself. I don't know how did that happen? Dell, I'm mad. Anyway, what's going on,
man? So this might sound crazy, but I wouldn't draft a quarterback in this draft. Right?
It's not crazy.
Okay.
To explain why, though.
Okay, here are my reasons. Like last week, with your regular show host, there were some interesting facts came out, which said very important fact that most of the Niner fans and other media are not willing to take. This is not the 2019 team anymore, number one. Second thing, the Jesse from Tampa, he said, we are the fourth oldest team.
True.
Right? So based on two facts.
Okay.
Right? And there is another thing. Raheem Mostert, I think a couple of weeks ago, he said the league was lucky that we were injured. I don't agree with that. Because if you take Patriots, 7-9, they are, a GOAT quarterback left after 19 seasons, and they were the team that most hit with COVID-related season opt-outs. The number one team with players who opted out due to COVID. Still, even when Cam Newton started, after third week, he got COVID. So he lost his rhythm, but still they finished 7-9. That's a strong team. So injuries are not excuse for a team. Now, why don't I draft a quarterback is, for this coming season, my major priority is to save the coaching staff and keep the fan base going on. Because I don't believe we are a Super Bowl contender in coming 2021 season. Right? So if I evaluate our last season performance and future 2021 scenario, I have four things that I believe need to be fixed. And this is based on the easiest to hardest. So the easiest thing, special teams, right? So I believe if our special teams did not screw up last year, we could have at least won another 3 to 4 games. So I asked this question from you previously. So we need basically a good punt returner, kick returner plus good punter. So that's the easiest to fix. Second thing, quarterback. I'll trade Jimmy away, or worst case, cut him back. I'll go the path of Andy Dalton.
Fair.
Get a veteran quarterback.
Yep.
Heal, right? Sign a 2-year deal. Right? Then third and fourth, it can interchange cornerbacks and the offensive line. This one, I am totally depending on the draft. I mean, if I can get, since I save money from Jimmy G deal, I can sign some free agency players as well. So I would rather trade up further to get, guys like Sewell or certain players like that. Depending on that, I will fix this. So my target for the season is, if the 16-game season, 10-6, if we get the 17th game with Bengals, it's 11-6. And I would be happy. I would say then we would get 6th or the 7th position in the playoffs. I would be happy if we make to the divisional round. But eventually that will save the coaching staff. I don't want to see Kyle Shanahan fired after this season. And I want to keep the fan base intact, because they are still living in 2019 that we almost won the Super Bowl, but we had a losing season this time, if we had a one again the fan base will be going away.
Yep.
So
I hear what you're saying. It's like this team is built to win now. They think they're built to win now. They're old. They keep blaming injuries. How are you going to bring in a rookie and start him and go and reload? Like they're going to have either Jimmy or a veteran starting. And that's why you're hearing about Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater, things like the experienced guys. That makes sense.
Yes.
They still may draft a quarterback to develop like Trey Lance, but who knows? Maybe that'll be. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll wait till next year.
Do that. It is okay if you are going to draft a quarterback, but please don't spend too much draft capital on that.
Of course.
Basically, don't fix the engine. Just fix the other running affairs and make it run for another year. Engine
sounds good to me.
Expensive.
Sounds good to me. All right, I gotta go to the next call. Thanks for coming on. Always great to see you.
Okay. Nice.
All right, Martin.
Hi, Graham.
How are you?
How are you doing? I'm fine. So next time, last time we talked, I was talking about Slater at 12.
Yes.
And we talk a bit about that. Not sure about the guy with short arms and all those things.
Yes.
I watch a lot of video, like the guy. I think it's not a concern about is it a tackle or not. I think it's as good as a guard, so you can take it at 12 if it falls on you. Don't trade up for him. But I think it's the equalizer for Watt and he's the best guy in the NFL with the Rams. Aaron Donald.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
You put Slater at guard, sign Lindsay or Andrews like a good center, and you really solidify that middle, and you can like get away with like tackle that are not prime. I think you should let go. Trent Williams have $25 million in Jacksonville or Cincinnati. It doesn't work like $25 million a year. I don't believe.
You don't think Slater's a tackle?
He may be, but I don't care. It's Quentin Nelson.
Yep.
I think he's as much as good as a guard that you can get. So you can take it at 12. If he's not there, I think it will not be there. I think it will be draft like higher than that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think you can draft down for J.C. Horn or Kellen Mond like later, and that's perfect. And I was also talking about, the frenzy that will happen with the release guy, and you talk a bit about of that with the Bennett and everything that will come loose, and we just see it happen. Like Vanoy will be available, Rudolph is available. I don't say sign this guy. Vanoy with the Niners will be interesting, but. We already see it, guys. We didn't expect that get cuts. That will be madness in a couple of weeks. If you cut Jimmy, you don't think Trent Williams, even don't think Verrett. I mean, the Saints are $61 million over the cap. They will cut. I just broke the number a little bit. If they cut left tackle Armstead, if they cut Emmanuel Sanders, Marshawn Lattimore, Brown, if they cut Murray, and Quan Alexander, it's 16, 13, 10, 10, 5, 5. They're still over 61
My
million.
God. Wow.
I think left tackle will be available, guard will be available, cornerback. I think Marshawn Lattimore, and no dead cap space if they cut him. So it's 24, and we may be able to sign him. So I think we have to be patient, lay back, and see what happens, because a good roster with cap space in this year will be in incredible position to make it.
But you think Slater is the real deal, and he's a special player the Niners can't pass on at 12?
Yeah,
Slater.
Yeah, because there's three good cornerbacks on this, really good cornerback. There's a Caleb Farley, there's J.C. Horn, and Surtain. I think Farley is good. Surtain is good for sure, but he has a maybe physical issue like Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
So I think J.C. Horns may fall down, but you don't know if the third who's the best. So if there was really best one cornerback in that draft, it will go to the top 5.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like having a cornerback falling to 20 if there were like that good. Of course, I don't see it happening. So I think Slater is if it comes to that, I think maybe Fields is there at 12, but he won't be or something like that. I think of all I see, it's the like the best can do, and then that's your need.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
guy on your
well, I'm going to be doing a film breakdown of Rashawn Slater on Tuesday with Jack Hammer. Looking forward to it. Martin, I got to keep taking more calls.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Take care. All right. Real quick, Andrew says, what do you think of the Niners interviewing BYU receiver Dax Mline or whatever, however you pronounce that? Some people would say, oh, he's getting intel on Zach Wilson. I don't think they need to get intel on Zach Wilson. They might be interested in the wide receiver. They probably watched a lot of Zach Wilson film. Knowing Kyle Shanahan, he was like, yeah, Zach Wilson's okay, but that wide receiver I like. I wouldn't be surprised if they sign him as an undrafted free agent. None of this will happen. A decent quarterback will put us in contention. Kyle's ego and play calling would put us in the playoffs. You're probably right. Thomas, what's up?
Hey, so I'm going to disagree with a lot of these people and say we should get a quarterback this year.
Okay.
So I think the big thing to remember is the NFC is open after like the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. Think about like who's running the NFC right now. You got Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I mean, Matt Stafford's going to kind of be doing it, but like there's no young guys in the NFC. All the really good young quarterbacks, they're all in the AFC.
You're right.
And the Rams are going to drop off a cliff as soon as Stafford's done. Russell's about to get himself sent somewhere else, if not this year, then next year. Rodgers doesn't seem content. Brady's going to retire. The NFC is wide open. So if we take someone like Trey Lance, and sure he has to develop for a couple of years, but in a couple of years, who's Trey Lance going to be competing against for the NFC? Like
Kyler
Murray, but
that's about it. Yeah.
I'm looking at Arizona's draft picks, right? In 2017, they took Josh Rosen, bust. Christian Kirk, okay, but not a second-round wide receiver. Mason Cole really hasn't played. Chase Edmonds, okay, but he's not a starter. Like 2018, Kyler Murray, but that's guaranteed. Byron Murphy hasn't really played. Andy Isabella, bust. Zach Allen, bust. Hakeem Butler, bust. Deontay Thompson, bust. 2019, Isaiah Simmons didn't even get on the field. Josh Jones, their third-round pick, was a decent tackle, but he hasn't played. Like, so if you have Kyler Murray, but you can't draft anything else, who's to say the Cardinals will get any better? Like, so that's why I'm thinking I don't care if it's a project wide receiver, because this year is the hardest year to compete anyways. Like, if we take Trey Lance and he's not good till next year, are we really going to match up against Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford, that whole Rams team this year? I don't know. And
probably not. Where would you take Lance at 12?
I take him at 12, yeah. And then on top of that, we have our team might be really old, but the people who matter on our team, Fred Warner, Kittle, Ayuk, like the real stars of our team are all pretty young. The older players are all kind of backups and position. Like there's no star on our team that's 30 plus, you know, all of our stars are pretty young.
Well, then depending on what they do with Trent Williams.
Depending on what they do with Trent Williams. And then the last thing I was going to say is I think any quarterback we take, I'm going to be okay with in the first round, because I just have this belief Chris Sims and Kyle have a really close relationship. I mean, they got each other's initials tattooed on themselves. Like, they're best friends. And Chris Sims said on his podcast in 2017, Kyle came to him and said, I'm not sure about drafting a D tackle at number 2 overall. Like, we like this Solomon Thomas guy, but that's pretty rich for a D tackle. And Sims told him, he's like, hey, you should look at Mahomes. And Kyle was like, we have kind of a plan for quarterback. We're not sure about quarterback in this draft. And he goes, well, just take another look at him. So there's that. I don't think Kyle wants to go through that again. If Sims says this is the guy, he's going to listen this time. And then 2018, when we took McGlinchey, Sims put McGlinchey on his mock draft to us, the first person to do it, and then we take him. Last year, Brandon Ayuk, Sims actually said after the draft, he said, I really liked Ayuk, but Kyle came to me and talked about him, and I didn't want to blow up Kyle's spot. I wanted to let him, because he was flying under the radar, I'm not going to be the one that outs Kyle about Ayuk. And then Javon Kinlaw was Sims's number 1 D tackle. So I think they talk a lot in this draft process. And I think if Kyle says, I like Trey Lance, what did Sim say about Trey Lance? Really, he said he's inexperienced, but he didn't say anything bad. He said he has like probably the best arm and the best running in the class. So
you might be onto something, Thomas.
He might be keeping something a secret, or if he isn't keeping something a secret, like I think Kyle's going to listen to his overall rankings.
Could be. Thomas, thanks for coming on and providing a minority point of view. We have a lot of people agreeing here, so thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, have a good one. The Ken Bone. Hello.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not too bad. Fan of your show. Watch it live.
Oh, thank you.
A little bit excited, but I want to talk quarterbacks as usual, right?
Sure.
Some of the rumors that we're hearing, like the way Sherman talked about leaving the Niners, the way Jared McKinnon was like, no, I'm not coming back, right? I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are in a dangerous situation right now, because if they trade Jimmy, say they trade Jimmy and he goes to New England, and I know you've talked about this, right? And then we go and trade up in the draft and go and get Trey Lance or whoever else, right? Zach Wilson.
Whoever
right?
it is. Yep.
We finish 8-8. And then New England finishes 12-4 or whatever, right? 13-3.
No bueno.
People will call for Shanahan's head.
Oh,
right? And
oh yes.
Right? They're all done. Right?
Yes.
So they're like, well, how do we get out of this?
Yes.
Right? I'm going to give a little tidbit. Ben Roethlisberger just went and took a new contract for about 14 or 15 million, right? Tom Brady has already said that he's going to rework his contract for right around the same. Mike Evans willing to take a contract, right? Anybody that's willing to make the hard decision to say, hey, I'll take less money
for the good of the team.
Exactly, right? So
it's a tough year. Yeah.
Build the team around us. Somebody needs to be an adult in that room, and it has to be Jed York, right? Because he's paid John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and Jimmy Garoppolo more than $200 million.
That's correct.
Right? Sit them down in the room and go, hey, listen, fellas, we need to do something about this.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We need to fix this situation. And I'm not saying that Jimmy shouldn't be traded or can be traded or whatever, right? But he's already been proven that he is a serviceable quarterback in this system.
No doubt.
Everybody wants to talk about how he can't make this long throw, he can't make that long throw. Tell me
the issue is the health, not that.
Right? So
he's serviceable. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
The other thing is I played quarterback in high school. It takes a certain person when you're running a ball like they did in the NFC Championship, right?
Yeah.
Until you prove to me that you can stop the run, I'm going to keep running the ball. Right?
True.
Simple as that. Chews up the clock, keeps the time of possession down, keeps Aaron Rodgers on the sideline, most importantly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to tell your quarterback, hey, listen, you're not going to throw the ball, right? It takes a certain person that has a certain demeanor to be like, okay, coach, this is for the good of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's true.
So
yeah, that's true.
On that aspect, you can't bring in an Aaron Rodgers or somebody like that or a Matt Stafford and say, hey, this is a system that we're going to run, because they're going to be like, wait a second, I'm not just handing the ball off every single time. Like, this is crazy.
Drew Brees wouldn't go for that. Tom Brady wouldn't go for that. No.
Not a chance, right?
Yeah.
The other side of things is you can't bring an ego into that room like Tom Brady.
That's right.
Right?
And Kyle always goes for egoless quarterbacks. I mean, always.
Totally. Right? He doesn't want somebody that has a spine at all.
Right? That's yeah.
Right? Because if you look at it, you look at Tom Brady. The one thing that Bruce Arians said was, I'm letting Tom coach.
Yeah.
That's super important. You bring a guy like that in there, you could be the best offensive mind in the game. But that guy has everything, right? He has all the MVPs, the Super Bowl MVPs, the rings, and everything else. I don't think if they had brought Tom in, that it would have worked, right? Kyle doesn't have.
Yeah, I think you're probably right with that.
Ego.
I think it would have been oil and water, cats and dogs. Yeah,
totally. Right.
Yep.
I think Jimmy is the fit, but I think Jimmy actually has to sit down with them and like. in the contract put in that, hey, you got to play a certain amount of games and we're going to give you a bonus.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
If you put it that way, where he has to be on the field to get paid, then maybe that's what needs to be done. They need to force his hand.
They've given him $100 million. He should be willing to work with them.
Totally. But on the other side of things is, you look at it, ever since Jimmy's come here, we're looking for an upgrade. We're looking for an upgrade. They need to stand behind the quarterback.
True.
Right? You're going to affect his confidence, and everybody says, well, he's not the same quarterback. Right? Well, if everybody keeps telling me that I stink every bloody day, that's what's going to happen. Right?
Right.
Like, they need to stand behind him, rework his contract. Right?
Yep.
And realistically fix that offensive line. And Trent Williams is not the guy.
Why?
Character issues, right? I had character issues with Colin Kaepernick. I heard you and your dad talking to him, how he was not a good guy in the locker room. There's rumors that he slept with other players' girlfriends, right? Alden Smith being one of them, right?
Yep.
Character is huge. Joe Staley was the anchor of that offensive line. He held people accountable. They need to go out and get guys, and for the price tag, man, like, that's a lot of money. That's quarterback money for an offensive lineman.
Who's 33 next season,
right?
Yeah.
You want guys with good character, right?
Yeah.
Alex Mack, Andrews, good character. Villanueva for the Steelers, guy in the military, fought for the country, solid dude. Those are guys that you want to target because they'll hold other people accountable. And you need to do something, because J.J. Watt is going to go into Arizona and he's going to be a wrecking ball, and he's going to do the same thing to them.
And it's important to remember, we said Jimmy's serviceable. He is. McGlinchey isn't.
No.
Whoever they have at center is not. So they need to get at least serviceable at multiple spots in the offensive line and replace Trent Williams.
McGlinchey was serviceable when Joe Staley was there, when he held everybody accountable. Right.
Correct.
And that's what you need. You need the right type of veterans. Not guys that are going to come in and be like a lone wolf, be like, yeah, well, I was good. I can't do anything about anyone else.
And that's exactly what Trent Williams is.
He's had.
It sets the wrong.
He's had character issues since he was at Washington, right? Through the hits and fit, sat out a year. I'm not saying the guy's not a stud, right? But when you're playing in a position where it has to be a group effort, right? If you block your guy, but the guy that the other guy's having problems with, if you're not pushing your guy into him, all of a sudden, well, the offensive line doesn't work. If your quarterback's still getting hit, right?
Right.
You look at the pocket that Brady had in the Super Bowl, was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They couldn't do anything with it, right? You put Jimmy in a pocket like that, all of a sudden, it's a little bit different, right? The guy, when you get hit that much, look at Russell Wilson, what he's saying. He's like, no, wait a second, I'm not getting hit like this. Right? So,
Ken, thank you so much for coming on the show. You killed it.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I look forward to talking to you again.
Absolutely, man. Take care. You're always welcome. I don't even have to say nothing today. You guys are just leading the show, killing it. Really a lot of fun. Jacob, what's up? Is you there?
How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing, man?
Good.
What's on your mind?
First and foremost, I'm glad to see your dad is back on the show. It's nice to see him. So
thank you.
That was good. With that, I want to get your impression. Actually, I want to get your opinion on the Raiders are going to release. It's reported that they're going to release Gabe Jackson, who is a Pro Bowl guard, very, very reliable, plays, doesn't miss any games. Wouldn't be Trent Williams' money. That's not 20-some million. I think it'd be a good spot for the right guard, which we need an upgrade, and he would be more than an upgrade. What's your take on that? Do you think it'd be a good option to go after him rather than Trent?
At the right price, why not? He's proven. He's good. He's not necessarily the kind of offensive lineman that Kyle usually looks for. He likes smaller guys who run, and Gabe Jackson is a power dude who will push people in front of him. But the Niners could use a guy like that. I mean, he'd probably be a cheaper version of Laken Tomlinson, and I don't even like Laken Tomlinson that much. They could get rid of Laken and bring in Gabe Jackson. I'm not against it. He's not super young, but again, he's an upgrade over whatever the Niners have, and at a certain price, $3 million, $4 million, sure. I don't know what he's going to get. I wouldn't give a ton of money to him just because of his age. But yeah, I would be, call his agent, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think with that, I think I said it before when you first did this show with Trent, I take Barrett over Trent any day of the week. As far as financially and as far as Jason Barrett and defense more than Trent changed the O-line. And we all
don't we kind of
know
all
the
expect
O-line
Trent to leave? I don't expect him to come back.
Yeah, I think he's gonna cash in. Maybe Jacksonville, maybe be number one pick from the line side.
How about Indianapolis? Indianapolis, they lost
Indianapolis.
their left tackle, Anthony Costanzo. They've always prided themselves on their offensive line. They love taking the Niners players. Indy.
And real quick before I let you go to the next one, in the first round, I really like us taking a corner with that first pick. I know in the beginning we're all saying Trask, and that's that's way too soon for him. But
yeah,
Kellen Mond, I did watch a lot of tape on him, and he is good. I would take a corner first round and do anything possible to trade back in the second and end of the first, maybe second to get him because he won't last.
Yeah, I agree. He's because you look where Jordan Love went. I mean, compare Jordan Love's gifts and resume to Kellen Mond. I mean, Mond's going to go high.
Yeah.
All
right, Brent. Well, it was great talking to you, man.
Think about which corner you want next time we talk. Let me know which corner you want. I got to look at it too. I like Horn, but we'll see. All right, man. Have a good one, man.
Take care.
Like, I mean, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
What's going on, man?
What up?
What up?
So I want to talk about quarterback.
Okay.
Like the 8,000. Not talking about.
All right, let's do it.
My thing about Jimmy Garoppolo is that the NFC West is stacked. Okay, the NFC West quarterbacks and pass rushers are stacked. Mike McGlinchey can't guard right tackle. So if you have a bad offensive line with Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jimmy Garoppolo's going to get injured next season also. It's a given.
It's a given.
It's a given, right?
Yes.
The thing about Jimmy Garoppolo is that, like in the Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo had to throw a ball to Emmanuel Sanders. They were losing. If he made that throw, touchdown, we would have had a better chance of winning the game. Right?
Yeah.
The thing about Jimmy Garoppolo is that the one game that Jimmy Garoppolo actually outdid his opponent was against the Saints, Drew Brees, where he actually did good and threw the ball and scored multiple touchdowns.
Yeah.
But in other cases, he doesn't do that, right? The run game, and then he doesn't throw the ball that much.
Yeah.
When you need Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the ball, can he throw the ball and score a touchdown for you when you need him? Because if you can't run the ball with 2 minutes left.
Right.
You can't run the ball with 2 minutes left.
Right.
In 2016, he did that against the Titans and stuff like that, but he hasn't done that since.
Right.
And he gets lots of injuries. He has a bunch of injuries.
That's the main problem. Yeah.
He has injuries, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, I think in the draft we should get a cornerback, and in second round we should get a right tackle or like a guard.
Mm-hmm.
And then we should trade for Deshaun Watson or get Sam Darnold or something like that, because Jimmy Garoppolo is injured, number one, and also he can't throw the ball when you need him to throw the ball. He takes too long to throw the ball.
And he turns the ball over. He's supposed to be a game manager.
He threw the ball. He legit lobbed it up in the air. Tom Brady throws it out of bounds. He sits there and waits and waits.
He legit lobbed it up in the air. He's like, "Oh wait, I'm about to get sacked.
I'm just like,
let me make this play way worse and just throw it to the other team."
Yeah, just throw it out of bounds. But he takes too long with his decision making.
Yeah.
After that Seahawks game, and I think when Jimmy Garoppolo and
so bad against the Seahawks this year.
Bad. I saw your video that night. I was just like, Jimmy Garoppolo took so long to throw the football, and it was just so annoying. And I'm just like, just throw it out of bounds or just do something instead of just holding. You're just gonna get sacked and lose yards after yards after yards.
Yeah.
And it was just annoying.
See, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, if you're listening, this is how your fan base feels about your quarterback. You can't lie to them anymore. They've seen it. They're tired of it. I'm with you, man. Enough of the Jimmy experience.
And he gets injured. Like, draft an offensive lineman, but he gets injured too much and he can't throw. He takes too long. It just doesn't make sense to keep him. And he's not going to be better than Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers. Even if they're old quarterbacks, he can't. If Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson are injured or something like that, Jimmy Garoppolo can't outscore Russell Wilson or Kyler Murray. He can't go a dual battle with them and just start throwing touchdowns. No. The only reason we win those type of games is because the run game scores touchdowns, and maybe Jimmy Garoppolo scores like one touchdown, but then he scores like 2 interceptions.
I mean, hey, from your words, from your lips to God's ears. All right. I hope the Niners are listening and they move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, because you just laid it out, man. That's it. That's all of it. They got to move on. I mean, thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you for having me.
Have a good one, man. Benny. What's up, Benny?
I was 49ers fan, but I had to change my name because Me?
You said you wanted my email address. I never got an email.
Oh
from you.
yeah. So I want to do a show with you soon. I'm going to do that very
All right. We'll talk.
Very soon. I've been working on topics.
Oh,
but cool. Fun fact about Rashawn Slater: do you know that he allowed 0 sacks in his last year?
I did not know that. I'm just getting to know Rashawn Slater. I didn't even know that he opted out. I just found out that he didn't play in 2020.
It said something about like him allowing 0 sacks.
It's great. Because Mike McGlinchey didn't have that distinction in college. He gave up sacks in college, some big ones. McGlinchey.
Yeah, and I mean, so hold on, what was it? Oh yeah, Alex Mack. So I went back a month ago, and I might, when I get on a longer show with you, I might go into more detail. But I watched a interview with him. Matt Mayoko interviewed him. And Matt Mayoko asked him, what do you think about the 49ers situation? Like, would it be fun playing with Kyle again? And he he lit up and smiled, and he was like, oh, I would succeed in that offense. And so I think he's really, what he was hinting, he was just like, he was really excited about it. I think what he was hinting that the 49ers should get him.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But real quick, the way I look at it this year is since the cap's down, I think a lot of veterans are nervous because it's basically like a smaller pie for the hundreds of free agents to split up. And I think you're hearing a lot of veterans like, yeah, I'd love to go there. I'd love to be here. It's like, yeah, well, these offers are going to go quick, and there's going to be people that are just out of luck. So yeah, I'm sure you'd love to come to the Niners for a lot of reasons.
And that's the thing, like, Jason, they're not going to get money out there. And I was
it's a Trick Daddy reference. You don't know Trick Daddy.
I was thinking like, Alex Mack's previous contract was $9 million. So I think, the highest he would probably get is like 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the 49ers, no teams are lucky this year because the 49ers actually have the 6th highest cap
That's
space.
the thing.
I read an article this morning.
That's the thing. So like Trent Williams may think he's going to get a ton of money. Maybe their offers aren't out there because maybe these teams just don't have the cap space.
And the 49ers can replace more cap space if they oh, never mind. They can't cut Reston Richburg because he hasn't passed the physical, right?
No, there's no injury guarantee in his contract. So I think I'm not really great on that, but I think they can cut him from what I understand.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. I know you have next call. I'll email you soon.
All right, man. See you soon, Benny.
Bye.
What's up, dude? Hey, man. Oh, you're hey, hold on. You're muted. Oh, no, you're muted. What's up with that? So I heard something say trial version. Hey, man.
Trial version.
Back. It says trial version. I don't know what's going on. BT, what's up? Oh, I'm sorry, man. Look at his face. He was so excited. I wanted you to be on the show too. Call back in tomorrow, man, or call back in today. I'll bring you back to the front. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, man. Wait, hold on. Say something.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. What's up? How you doing?
So, the main move the 49ers can make is to tell Jet Joke to sell the team, man. That's the best move they can do, man, to tell Jet Joke to sell the team, and he's done a mess with this team. This team has been inconsistent. Yeah. Have you seen the decade record for this team? 80-80. 80 wins, 80 losses, man. Like
for the decade? Wow. That's interesting.
I
mean,
like
Jed York, he's so excited. Like he hired Mike Singletary's too soon. He fired Jim Harbaugh too soon. He extended Jimmy Garoppolo too soon, extended Lynch and Shanahan too soon. He's just always too eager to say, I figured it out. Everything's okay. Like, no, you freaking haven't figured it out. And you're going on to like 15 years of your tenure. You haven't gotten it.
Like, man, that record represents how inconsistent this team is. Because if this team proposes to be like a good team, they can really accomplish pretty good teams, man. Like, they have gone like 2 Super Bowls in a decade, man. That's something that's great.
Yeah.
But like, Jet Joke's decisions are pretty much irrational, and they end up destroying each opportunity this team has. And like, for example, when I say JJ Watt signing, people were saying, well, he's washed up. People think that 30-year-old players from this age are the same like the 30-year-old players from the 90s. It's not like that anymore. Healthcare has gotten better. Technology has gotten better. JJ Watt can still play another 5 years and be a good player. That's what people tend to forget. He's not still washed up. If he keeps himself healthy in Arizona, which I think he will, I mean, really, that team, it's pretty young. They have a pretty good chance with Kyler Murray. He can still improve. Kyler Murray can improve, man. Like, he has the same skill Russell Wilson had in his second year, but the difference is that Kyler Murray doesn't have the top 5 defense Wilson had.
Right.
But believe me.
Agree. And that defense is getting better now because they just added J.J. Watt. Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then the Rams, the Stafford signing, I don't know how to feel about that because, he's a top 15 quarterback, but I don't know, man. Like, it's going to hurt them a lot. The Seahawks, I don't know. The Wilson rumors, to me, are just, like, blatant. Like, they don't make sense because all of this stuff is coming out from reporters and not Wilson himself. Even Wilson's agent said, like, he didn't want to get out of Seattle. Like, man, this is all a speculation. The best thing the 49ers can do is, I don't like any of the quarterbacks in this draft except for Lawrence. All of them are pretty green to me. Like, I don't like them. The one I will take is Mont in the 3rd. I mean, that could be rational. Mont in the 3rd. In the 1st, get J.C. Horn. I'm a J.C. Horn advocate. Please
I like him too.
JC.
All right, I'm gonna write a letter for you, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
You're
Have
welcome,
a good one.
man.
I'm glad we worked it out. Damn it, Gumby, what's going on?
What's up, Grant?
What's up, dude?
So,
where are you right now?
Oh, I'm actually on a walk right now.
Okay, that's nice.
It's a really nice day today.
All right.
So, I wanted to say you and Chris Sims ruined my my perfect scenario.
What was it? Mond falling to round 3? Yeah. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I've been on Mond since December. So
what do you like about him? So now we're like in the Mond fan club. It's so nice to meet someone like you. I would talk to you at a bar for hours. So what do you like about Kellen Mond?
Basically, I like about him is like, okay, experience. That's a really big thing. So he ran a really good offense with Jimbo Fisher.
Yes.
And he has, I would say, pretty good anticipation. Not as good as Mac Jones.
Right. But he's got it.
Yeah. Everything that Chris Sims said about him is accurate. So he, can, read a defense really well. Doesn't use his legs as much as he should. But
that's coachable. Who knows what Jimbo Fisher's telling him to do? Exactly. He's got the legs. He
could be saying, "Hey, you're going to see this curl flat. I want you to hit the curl flat every time on this play, and not see the go route or whatever."
Yes.
But now it's looking like you're going to have to trade back from 12 to like the late or early 20s.
Yes.
To draft
21, 22. Agree. Because again, if Jordan Love was 26, then I don't think he's going to go any later than 26.
No, not at all. And even like Jack Hammer was saying on Twitter, he's not going to go past the New Orleans Saints at 28.
He's the exact kind of quarterback Sean Payton would like. Really good on the short throws and mobile.
Yeah. Even then, I think if, let's say that Trey Lance is there, I think maybe then the New Orleans Saints would take him if they didn't miss out on Kellen Mond.
Yep.
They would probably
I'm going to say something else. Kellen Mond is a better prospect than Tua is.
Oh, way
bigger,
better.
Stronger arm, more mobile, better. Yeah, absolutely.
Tua looks like an old man running. He can't run.
He looks like a backup on the field. He looks like a backup. Miami screwed up.
The fact that Ryan Fitzpatrick is like 35 years old and runs way better and throws better than him, it's embarrassing.
And so imagine Ryan Fitzpatrick on the field like, man, you make me look young. You make me look good. Can I bring you everywhere with me, Tua, because you're extending my career? People think I'm fast because of you.
Even then, if Ryan Fitzpatrick is available, I think also the Niners should get him instead. Cut Jimmy, use him instead. He's way better than Jimmy. It's not even close.
He can actually move.
Yeah.
I saw Ryan Fitzpatrick that day at Levi's, the day that Jed York left at halftime. I stayed for the whole game. I got to say, that guy was hell of a quarterback that day.
Yeah.
Jed couldn't see it, though.
He put on a clinic.
Maybe if Jed stayed the whole game, he would have told John, get Ryan Fitzpatrick. But he left, so maybe he doesn't know.
Yeah. But now, if this is what the Niners should do, trade back. If you can do trade back twice into the late, early 20s to draft Kellen Mond, and then draft Ben Cleveland in the second, or Tyson Campbell, the cornerback, or Greg Newsome, the cornerback, in the second round with the second round picks you pick up. You fixed a lot of holes on your team, and you got a good franchise quarterback.
Definitely. Hey, strong call, Gumby.
Yeah.
What do you have against Gumby?
Oh, I don't have anything against Gumby. I love him.
Yeah, have a good one, man. Say a little pokey for me. What's up? How you doing?
Hey,
Ray?
man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, my main question really that it's just been in my head is basically I think of Kellen Mond very similar to Dak Prescott because when Dak Prescott was coming out of college, no one really saw him coming. They were thinking Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. So do you think he has that potential to potentially be a long-term, at least a really good starter like Dak Prescott?
Yes. That's who I compare him to. I've seen some comparisons, Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick. I think has higher upside. I mean, here's the thing. I covered Kaepernick and Alex Smith. Those guys did not have anticipation on the 49ers. Alex Smith was a see it, throw it passer for 10 years. Kellen Mond has anticipation right now. And that, to me, puts him as a whole different potential as a passer. I think it puts him in the Dak category because Dak has anticipation. Great passer. So, yeah, you compare their resumes in college, very similar. Dak's a little bit better, though.
Yeah. So, exactly. So, imagine like that Texas A&M offense with Jimbo Fisher, which he's in. Imagine that, like his persona with Kyle Shanahan. That's my thought process, I guess. So my dream draft scenario is we trade back for Horn maybe around 1920, and then we potentially take at least a guard or a tackle in the second round if Kellen Mond's not available, because I really think he has that potential and he's underrated. So
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So trade back, get Horn and Kellen Mond in round 1. That's your plan. That's a hell of a plan.
Yeah. So I guess I'm just really hoping that Kellen Mond's on the board because Chris Sims boosted his stock a little bit. So
the secret is out. Yeah, no, I felt that way about Mond. I like him better than Lance and Fields. I think he's really, really got it as a passer. Lance and Fields have strong arms, but that's not what really being a quarterback is. You have to learn the position. And I think Mond's got it. I don't know if Fields and Lance will get there. Maybe they will. But yeah, Mond's the guy. So we'll see if they can pull off the trade down. I think it's clever.
I just really think J.C. Horn is the best corner. He's most physical. And if Mond isn't there, then I guess we just go Landon Dickerson, Creed Humphrey, one of the offensive linemen. But yeah, that's really all I have to say, I guess.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Have a good one, man. Good.
Awesome, yeah.
You were great, man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
For sure. How you doing, man? You there? Oh, I think he's gonna unfreeze. There you go. Niner.
Oh, you're frozen.
You're frozen.
You're frozen.
No, you're frozen. What's up?
Damn it.
No, you're frozen.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Good, man. I like your jean jacket.
I was gonna say I wore the Tennessee tuxedo just for you, buddy.
Oh, the Tennessee tuxedo. I love it, man. What's on your mind?
So Juwan Jennings, there was a lot of hype around him in the draft. We took him late. I know there was some disciplinary stuff that had happened at Tennessee, and that's part of the reason he dropped. But you think we'll see him on the field at all this year?
No. No, I'll tell you why.
No.
He was terrible in training camp. He was so bad. I have a pretty good sense of these things. It's not like you really have to watch that closely. Like, did you get open? Did you catch the ball? The answer for that for Juwan Jennings with those two questions was no and no. He was supposed to be like the heir apparent for Kendrick Bourne. It just didn't happen for him. And it was the contrast was stark because Brandon Ayuk was tearing it up every day. So it was like, ugh. Juwan, maybe he'll be a totally different person in year 2. That happens to young men, but he looked disappointing.
Yeah, that's my last name, Jennings. So I just wanted to get a jersey. I was hoping he'd at least get one start this year.
You might want to get that. You might want to get that now. You might want to get that now. Did you get the Brian Jennings 86 back in the day? Yes.
Yeah, those are hard jerseys to find. All right, my other question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's up with this trip ago that Kyle takes all the guys on?
What?
Yeah. So after the season, Kyle takes a huge group of all the 49er players that are in the clique, and they all go to his dad's resort, his dad's house down in Mexico somewhere, or wherever it is, and go play golf for a week.
He takes the in crowd. Ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Juice was
not
on
leadership. Ugh. Ugh.
Juice was on Haberman and Middlecoff talking about it, and then showed pictures. And there's one person I didn't see in not a single picture, none of his pictures, none of Kittle's pictures, none of
I know who you're
Kyle
gonna say.
Shanahan
I know
pictures.
who you're gonna say.
Jimmy was not there.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say Jimmy Garoppolo. No, man. That is that is a I bet you they walk. I bet you if they're walking down the hall, they don't even make eye contact. I bet you.
That's my
They don't even make eye contact. It's over.
Yeah, it was crazy because there was no. Well, yeah, and even asked Mike, like, hey, was this how you handled things with your players during the offseason? He's like, no. So I don't know. That just trips me out. There was a lot of guys I didn't see pictures of that just kind of made me question. Now, Trent Williams was there.
Of course he's there. I mean, that's basically, I think Kyle Shanahan likes Trent Williams as much as he likes his firstborn child. I mean, he might even like Trent Williams more. They've developed Trent Williams. I mean, that's their guy. So who is there? Yeah. Kittle, Juszczyk, Trent Williams, Trent Taylor.
Trent Taylor.
Kendrick Bourne.
It was the clique. It literally was the clique. Yeah, Kendrick Bourne was in it. And there's
Do you remember
pictures
when
of
Kyle tried to get the
Shanahan riding around.
Do you remember when Shanahan tried to get the clique to include Dante Pettis, and they like took him to like a WWF game, and he was there and like trying to? It's like Dante. Oh no, you're not in the clique, dude. You're anyway. Hey, that's a really good call. I'm gonna have to look into that Mexico vacation. That it says a lot. It says a lot about him and that team.
Yeah, it's really telling.
Why are some of these guys still
the
on
guys
the team?
that he brought? Yeah, the guys he brought are the guys you would think he would bring. I mean, especially some of them are free agents this year. How are you going to try to strike a deal with a guy while he's staying at your dad's guest house and you're playing golf with him?
Yeah. Oh man. All right. Well, I'm going to investigate that. Thanks for coming on. Strong call as always. Have a good one. Iggy. Take care.
See you next.
Take care. All right. I'm going to take one more, then I got to go. If I didn't take you today, then I'll take it next time. Patrick, I've never seen you before. You're new. So I got to take you on the show before I go. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Hey, real quick, I don't want to, burn too much of the time here. I do.
You're the last caller, man. Let's do it.
Okay. I do agree with the guy Kenny, and the guy Ken. I think Boone. About Jimmy restructuring his contract.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody seems like they saying the same thing, but I looked at it as that, man, I think the Niners should hire me as a scout or something because this is crazy. But yeah, so I would just say some re-signings for right now. I would say a 4-year deal with Emmanuel, 3-year with Kyle. I think Juice, you guys call him Juice, right?
Yeah.
2-year deal for Verrett, 2-year for Jordan Willis, 2-year for Hyder, 1 year for K1 Williams and Witherspoon. Those two, I would just say an option to release them if they don't work out.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, so the Jags and the Jets, they got a lot of picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I tweeted this to you, I believe. But yeah, the Jags give up this year's 125, 25th pick, 365, third round pick, 65 overall, the 5th round pick, 120, 128. Next year's 1 and 2. 4, 49ers, Bosa, because I know he want to be with his coach, his old coach, right?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, he's already in Florida too. So hey,
yeah, that's a good one. I mean, they have a bunch of picks.
Yeah, and I would say Bosa, Armstead, the 4th round for this year, next year's 3rd, and hey, throw Verrett if they decline that, throw Verrett in there on his 1-year deal. I mean his 2-year deal, and Thompson. Yeah,
That's clever, man. I hadn't thought of the Jacksonville Jaguars as a trade partner, but they have as much draft capital as just about anyone. I mean, they have a ton of picks. They got 2 1s, 2 2s,
exactly.
a 3, 2 4s, 2 5s, and 2 7s. Yep. And that's
I really like this one because I know I would get I do like Surtain, but I think JC Horn would do better with the competition that's in our in our league here, in our conference.
Okay.
Having said that, I would take Horn at 12. If Jaguars go for it, I would say move up from the 25th pick to the probably 23rd and get Mond. Because I don't think after that he's not going he's gonna get picked up.
That's a good spot right there, 25 for Mond. Where are you calling from?
I'm in Emeryville.
You're in Emeryville. That's what's up. Yeah. I'm in Oakland. I was in Emeryville yesterday. I got my dad his first vaccine shot. So shout out Emeryville.
All right, shout out.
Shout out Emeryville. Hey, thanks for coming on, man.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna take one more just because.
Oh, Sherry, take it off.
What's up?
Grant, what's up, man? First time, long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah, right. What's going on?
So anyways, dude, I wanted to talk about this. I think I'm off screen. But what I wanted to talk about is the draft, and then do we pick based on best player available or based on philosophy, right? Because if you think about drafting based on philosophy, I think you got to think that the Niners are going to be thinking, we got to play bully ball with Jimmy G. We got to run the ball. We got to stop other teams from running the ball, and we need to get a cornerback. So I was thinking, if you're going based on philosophy, we probably get 2 O linemen, 2 D linemen, cornerback, and then whoever else best player available. And just real quick. And if you're going to move Armstead to the inside, you may need an edge. I just wanted you to think about it from that perspective and address it, based off that.
No, yeah. I mean, like what you're saying is right. Like the Niners have a lot of needs. It's not like a lot of players could be, if taking best player available could work because a lot of different positions could fill a need. Defensive end, corner, offensive tackle, guard, center, even running back, you could argue. I mean, how many times did Jerick McKinnon start a game last year? I mean, even wide receiver, Deebo Samuel can't stay healthy. So in that sense, yes, the one position I would say maybe not as tight end, even though George Kittle did miss 8 games next year. Yes. So I see what you're saying. In a sense, yes, they don't need to be zeroed in on one position in particular because they're not like one position away, one player away from being great.
All right, Grant. That's all.
All right, thanks for coming on, man. Say hello to your son for me.
I will.
That sounded wrong. He just used to call into the show. It's not like that. Anyway, I'm gonna end it now. I'm sorry to Shardal, Daniel, Niners all day, Lee and Rich. I'll be back on tomorrow. Call in tomorrow. If I see you, I'll jump you to the front of the line. I promise. Lee, Rich, all you guys, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Be back 10 o'clock, and I'll go on longer so I can take everyone's call. It's just I'm done for today. I'll see you tomorrow.